And now we hop to Beijing to catch up with the best team in the world right now. Royal Never Give Up are about to take on OMG in the Beijing arena. Of course, for those of you astute enough to have paid attention in the last game, they are going to Game 3. If you want to watch that, you can find that on panda.tv/LPL, douyu.tv/LPL. But Royal Never Give Up versus OMG is starting right now, and this looks to be one heck of a series, as you can see with a big smile. The coaches get into this pick and ban.
And what a classic matchup we have right here. The Season 3 rivalry starting between these two teams that did decide who took the upper hand going into Worlds. And so far, in the past, it has been OMG that came out a little bit ahead, but so far, it's been RNG all the way for 2018. The big thing we have to note on the roster is that Zatai will be playing in the bot lane, his third professional position. Zoe, of course, being the first pickup on the blue side for RNG.
And again, this is because Uzi has requested some time off. He has some back injuries, and hopefully he will get the chance to recover with that so that he can come back and keep winning things for the LPL. I'm happy to give it to him, as Gragas and Yasuo are the answer for OMG. Xuan P, their new AD carry, is doing some work for them. But Darius immediately picked up Clement. Could this be the second time we get to see RNG run without a marksman?
It definitely could be. We've seen Uzi stick to marksman, but so far Zatai and Abel, I'm sorry, not so far, but Abel has been going on different picks. And I think the reason you put Zatai in that bot lane position is because of his champion pool, is because of his ability to go onto mages and the bruisers alike. I think Darius is a great pick right here, just because seeing that Yasuo, OMG's team is going to be about all-inning. It's going to be about wombo combo. And that's going to create a target-rich environment for the Darius.
And now we've got a Mundo pickup from Xiong to try and answer that Darius. We'll see if that goes to the top lane, the bottom lane, or even the mid lane. As we're actually going to back out of that. Perhaps we could have had an accidental pick. Hey, no! We're just checking out RNG being plastered on the moon of that arena. They have their own moon, Clement. And it says RNG on it.
They're the new Space Force, man. They beat Trump to it.
But now we do have the Camille banned away. And again, that Mundo pickup that you mentioned. And now we're looking to see how RNG round out their roster. I think the best part would be if we actually saw Zatai play an AD carry.
Yeah, that would be totally out of expectation. But so far, I think the Darius is just going to match where the Yasuo is going. We've heard RNG talk about their ban pick philosophy after Rift Rivals, and it was about picking strong champions and not about which lane they went into. You take the counter pick, and then you follow that champion wherever you go. So Darius is known as one of the hardest counters to Yasuo in lane. You just want to follow wherever he goes. Top lane, bot lane, mid lane, it doesn't matter. You just match him up against that.
Well, of course, that does depend which of the players will be taking that champion. If it's Letme, if it's Zatai, heck, even if it's Xiaohu. As no jungle yet picked up by MLXG, he is being heavily targeted with that Camille and Sejuani. Nocturne still could be a choice for him, but OMG get the chance to pick their own if that Gragas isn't going into the jungle for OMG.
Yeah, and you can definitely tell OMG is not banning away the Nocturne. They're taking away early strength coming out from MLXG instead. So they definitely want to have a chance for Icon to shine in the early game.
Well, this would be interesting. The Sivir being looked at from Xuan P. He has such a spectacular Ashe that has now been banned away, as you can see. So going to have to dig a little bit deeper with this, as his Swain that he entered into as well, also banned.
I do like the Varus if he does lock it in here. I think you need extra firepower dealing with two bruiser compositions coming out from both sides. But he's going to leave the marksman for a later pick and go with the pike instead.
Yeah, they save themselves the flexibility. As again, we know there's a Yasuo that could go down to the bottom lane with Xuan P. Zatai. He's having himself a chuckle as he gets to flash some AD carry.
Aw, you're not going to do that.
In front of the crowd, hovers the Vayne.
He's not going to tread
the crowd pleaser. Oh boy, that would be hilarious. But Kennen's kind of a marksman. And it's almost kind of a top laner. It's perfect.
Yep, we have seen this being thrown into the top lane as well. I do think what RNG is doing right now, I don't think they've actually decided on their lane assignments, but they're just throwing out picks that counter what the enemy team is wants to do. And so far, OMG is, I'm going to run at you. I have Yasuo, I have Mundo, probably going to pick up another marksman that has a melee potential.
Well, they've got that Trundle locked in. from the RNG side, so the pillar is a great way to deny any sort of rush downs. But that said, Lucian, one of the few people who can quickly dodge away from that pillar and escape the slow. That's being looked at by Xuan P and will get locked in. So it looks like that Yasuo is going to Icon in the mid lane. The Hitman gets to make a showing against Xiaohu. Question is, what does Xiaohu take against it? That Zoe, or will we get to see the Darius try and track it down?
Most likely we'll still see the Zoe into the mid lane, but I'm really interested in what Letme and Zatai are going to be playing, because both of these are top laners.
Yeah.
They share similar champion pools, and to be frank, both of these would be good picks. I actually do like the Darius a little bit better into the bot lane compared to the Kennen. You do lose out on trades if you're the Kennen, but as the Darius, it's just a straight kill combination.
Oh, yeah.
WQ onto Lucian, you have the extra range when you're the Alistar, and you just follow up with the Apprehend.
Yes, and now as the coaches get to shake hands, Clement, we get to answer an age-old question. So many times with rosters, we look at the two top laners, or one player and then their backup sub and say, okay, which one is better for the team? This one has these strengths, this one has these strengths, this has these weaknesses, this has these weaknesses. Well, in RNG, on patch 8.13, we can put both top laners on top lane champions in the same game and see head-to-head who is the better top laner for RNG as they get to play in the exact same matchup. This meta is great.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy, but I think Letme is going to come out super strong. He did not get to play at Rift Rivals, so, you know, he can't let Zatai steal the show quite yet.
Oh, yeah. We're expecting Letme to be real hungry after Rift Rivals as he now gets to show up against longtime rivals OMG, who have been starting to finally find some momentum after falling apart in the spring split. Icon and the rest of the OMG squad picking up Mountain, picking up Xuan P, could be finding momentum. What better way to do that than in Royal Never Give Up's own stadium in Beijing?
Yeah, historical rivals right here. OMG trying to rebrand and rebirth their organization, bring in Mountain, Xuan P into the bot lane, while RNG is just coming off a historical victory, being crowned the strongest team in the world. There couldn't be a bigger mismatch in the reputation of these two teams currently, but I just want to see how it plays out for them.
Well, we're certainly about to find out as we get ready to load onto the Rift. It's Royal Never Give Up taking on Oh My God in a battle of the ages. If only the context had the weight to match this. Will OMG be able to play up and challenge longtime rivals? Or will RNG set the stage?
And we just heard from the RNG crowd, our team is Royal Never Give Up. Our goal is the championship. Strong words coming out from the Beijing crowd.
I would say I wonder which one, but they've already taken all of the others.
Oh, it's definitely Demacia Cup.
Oh, okay. But already we can see OMG, they've got themselves a ward on top of their red buff that is spotting them out. Royal Never Give Up will have some information there. I love how even RNG has their own clap. Not only do they have a moon that says that has the RNG logo in their own stadium, but they don't even say fighting as, yes, you're correct.
What?
That is Zatai in the mid lane playing the Darius into the Yasuo.
I did say it myself, but I'm still surprised to see the Darius mid. Because we usually see the Zoe's mid a little bit more, like having the potential redemption wave clear means a little bit more into the mid lane, but they're going full all in on 8.13. It's all about the counter picks, baby.
Bone Skewer finds Ming, and he just knocks Xuan P back. So I guess that's an important question, Clement. Do we count this as a new lane role for Zatai if he comes into the game as a marksman, but then plays a top laner in the mid lane?
I don't think so. I think we still have to put him down at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, he's been a mid laner for Snake in 2017.
Yeah.
You know, originally played as a mid laner as well. Zatai is such a history player.
Yeah.
If you don't know, like, he was actually asked to play for a professional team when he was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And his parents were like, haha, you're just kidding. And then IG comes to him. He's like the 2nd richest family in China. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, this is real.
It's an actual thing, yeah.
Yeah, and his parents were like, okay, you can go.
And he's been playing League ever since. With his return to MSI, or sorry, with Rift Rivals, that would be his 3rd international appearance, and I believe 7 years of play, 8 years of play going on.
Yeah, he started playing at 13. He's 20 now.
7 years.
Yeah.
As meanwhile the game is going on, you can see the quick invade from Mountain and Icon taking away those Raptors.
To just make a small note of what has happened in terms of the early game, we've seen OMG try to split up the map a little bit and go for like vertical jungling and try to minimize how often these junglers interact, because they do have the worst early game matchup compared to the Gragas versus Trundle. However, on the other side, I think what MLXG is doing is that he's prioritizing defending his own jungle and making sure that the ganks are more harder to predict. He wants the junglers to run into each other. Yeah.
That's going to take a lot of vision manipulation out of OMG if they want to try and catch that tricksy troll Trundle. As he tries to set up and deny some of the vision of his own, he's now heading up to that top half of the map. Could be looking for Krugs, could be hunting for Gragas, because fresh out of base, here comes Mountain. As he's heading up there as well, you can see Ming. He didn't place a ward, placed it instead on the river ramp as MLXG with this does take over to level 4. Mountain should spot this, but look at how low Xiang is, level 4. But Mountain is right there, and MLXG walks in. He now sees it, but it's a little bit too late. He flashes away, but Chilling Smite and an auto attack. Xiang's got the quick cleaver.
That was style points
down
on top of that kill right there.
Now Letme's got to get away from this Gragas, who's still got his own flash. Xiang lands another cleaver. That's the keg smash. Mountain decides not to dive the turret.
Yep, and sometimes you have MLX Jesus and sometimes you have MLXD going a little bit too far forward, not anticipating the path of Mountain right there. Usually when you make a play like this, you do want the warding down.
Oof. Lemme had flash, he could have tanked it. As, ooh, that's the bleed stacks onto Icon. Ooh, Zatai doesn't get an auto attack though for a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think he actually missed the apprehend right there. That was the cleaving motion coming out.
Just clears out that minion. Mountain steps forward, but Zatai still just catching that minion wave as Icon doesn't want to push this in right now.
Very surprising to see Yasuo actually getting the upper hand in this matchup so far. Should be a very difficult matchup to play. The mobility not counting for much.
I mean, we do have to respect Icon. Despite the current position of OMG, Icon is still the hitman. He can and will kill your mid laner at any given time in any given position. He's got some of the best mechanics in the league. He just hasn't been able to convert those mechanics into wins for his team, but now he's got a little bit more set up. We've been looking to more cerebral play with Mountain shot calling for his team. Xuan P coming in as an AD carry, provides a new carry threat as well, so it's not just on Icon's shoulders exclusively.
Yep, definitely a lot of things going well for OMG, and seeing them try to revitalize themselves a little bit after a disappointing spring split.
Hopefully they will be able to find some momentum. The question is, can they do it against RNG after they've now given up first blood?
I think so far RNG still should have the upper hand in terms of the top side of the map. They have the better solo lanes just in terms of the matchup. So we will probably be seeing a bit more of MLX Jesus or MLXD, depends.
MLX to be determined.
Yep.
MLXT to be figured out.
That's good. Another invade coming in for the Trundle like we expected. Does have timers on the red buff from the previous ward.
Oh, yeah. We'll get the chance to see that. Scryer's Bloom. Ooh, doesn't actually see the Gragas there. Though he does see that Blast Cone. He's got the timer right on. Zatai is right around. Here it is. Blast Cone over the wall. Now they see Mountain. He flashes and Blast Cones to safety. In the bottom lane, though, Xiaohu, he's going low. That's the Ignite, but 5 doesn't have death from below yet.
Yep, does manage to get away with just his flash. Now, the bottom side should be playing a lot safer than this, though. A bit of an unexpected mistake coming out from Xiaohu. Probably doesn't have his communication with Ming locked down yet.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing about running these different types of compositions.
And look at the bottom lane for OMG. They're invading onto the red buff of RNG, though RNG know this. Ming gets the knock-up, Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Quick decimate, and Icon goes down. Red buff is taken successfully by Mountain, though, as that's Ghost, used by Zatai just to scare that Gragas off.
Yep, and I guess the big question is, can Yasuo even finish Darius off if he gets the correct Gragas combo? And most of the time you're running this combination against a mage, you hit the Gragas explosive cast, you can finish him off with a Yasuo damage. I'm not sure that's the case against a Darius, though.
The Last Breath and Steel Tempest. But maybe if he's able to get the Last Breath armor penetration, he can start to work through those Ninja Tabi that we already see that Zatai is sitting on as MLXG. Has found Xiang, forces him to take the long path. That's actually the Subjugate as well.
Yep.
Just to force him away from the turret. Let Me and MLXG could be looking for first brick here.
And we're seeing Xiang get the tall treatment so far. MLXG and Zatai doing this to SKT at Rift Rivals, just continuously pressuring into the top lane, making sure they had a pushing side lane. One of the great additions of this team.
Ooh, that's a bit awkward. The pull goes in, Battlestar finds 5! Ooh, Ares not enough. Calling on the Ming. So he's about to get his cooldowns back up, so Xuan P decides not to go into the minion wave.
Yep, we could see Ming being very careful about that situation. Even with the ultimate up, you can still get executed by death from below, regardless of the damage reduction. So, just playing that pretty safe, walking back as soon as possible.
Healing up around that minion wave, doesn't want to risk the execution of that Pyke. But here comes Mountain, he's on that bottom side. Bone Skewer catches Ming, he's pulled in, he has no ultimate, he turns it back around. Battlestar misses Xuan P, but like we said, there's the Gragas Chilling Smite. He sidesteps one, death from below misses, but Mountain still gets the kill.
Yep, I don't think he got the extra cold.
He did not.
No your cut being put there.
Ooh, Let Me trading with Xiang, using the Slicing Maelstrom just to zone him away and clear out that minion wave. MLXG is on the bottom half of the map right now, so there's no help for Let Me if he needs it.
So this tower should just be a problem of time when it actually goes down. We've been seeing repeat ganks from the Trundle over and over again, and this is one thing that RNG has really been doing that has separated themselves from other LPL teams. We typically talk about blue-collar top laners being the mainstay.
That's the Apprehend as Icon lands the Rising Wind.
Yeah, and Icon's just been doing a tremendous job so far in this middle lane. He's playing against a very difficult matchup. The Darius can actually just one combo kill you if he gets the Apprehend, gets the W slow as well, the cripple. But he's been able to keep his distance while trading evenly.
Lemmy's trying to step up to the turret and just slowly working the health down. As you can see, TOP versus BLG is going on the alternate stream on Doyu and Panda. Bone Skewer's ready, will miss. Still, MLXG seeing that Gragas bottom, he decides to turn onto the Rift Herald, but OMG, they could be setting up a dive onto the Zoe Alistar.
Does look like Xiao has smelt this already.
That's the Bone Skewer, Ming gets pulled in. Unbreakable Will cast, but he's pinned against the wall. That's the Last Breath, and they find the kill. No, you're cut. It's just 5 who takes it with an auto. So that might have been the Ignite tick that secured it, but still. This is now 3 kills to 1, and Rift Herald is about to be taken. Will they be able to get first break as Rift Herald is cleaned up? And Let Me, ooh, just a little bit slow. Looks like OMG got that first brick faster, though Rift Herald is still ready, and there is no teleport for Xiang.
To be honest, I think in this meta, it's actually more advantageous to get Herald and the top tower compared to Dragon and the bottom tower. Because Herald almost always guarantees you a second tower. You get 2,000 damage on the first tick right away. Well, even if you get a Mountain Drake, that's not a guaranteed tower.
And that's what we see right here. A massive charge slams into it. Still no response as Icon was walking, but decides to back away. Xiang is finally stepping forward to try to get to the minion wave along with 5, but Shelly already got that full charge, and they decide not to look for a charge onto the inhibitor turret.
Yep, and I want to see if Let Me is going to go for the AP cannon or the AD cannon. Both are viable builds so far. We've been seeing the Marin go for the AP as a more common build path, but looking at Let Me right now, we might actually be seeing the Blade of the Rune King.
Yeah. Alternative marksman, play it in the solo lane. Xiao, who's still just working down on that bottom tier 1 and just getting the Ignite under the turret. Insult to injury. Whoa! And the Battlestar, the Ignite ticks. Last one! Oh my god, he got it!
So the insult wasn't the main point. The injury was what he was going after.
Yeah.
And that's the scary thing about the Zoe in like the later phases of the matchup. Post level 9 when she gets the full charge of the Paddle Star.
Was that the double ignite? Did he use his own and then get a spell ignite?
I didn't see how he got the first one.
Because that seems like a lot of ticks on that ignite there.
Yeah,
He's
probably
pushing up to the turret. Lone Skewer catches up, but immediately Icon follows through. And the Wind Wall. Xiaohu sidesteps one for some minions, but there's the death from below. But Mountain is the one who gets the gold cut.
Yep, and through all of this, though, we should look at the top lane. Letme is getting free farm. He's laning against absolutely no one. Well, let's watch that again.
Oof. 2,
well, damage was
3,
already done here.
4, 5. So that was a second ignite. That's a lot of damage.
Don't you just love that with Zoe?
Oh boy.
She didn't even need the bubbles to finish that kill, which is the ridiculous part.
Through the minion wave, Xuan P, you thought you were safe. You thought wrong. He's still 22 CS ahead again because he is that Lucian, but now he's forced to hold out onto that middle lane. Suddenly that Darius becomes a lot of a threat. Where does the Darius go to try and match that Yasuo, or do we just see Zatai stay in the mid lane? Will we start to see some more standard lanes? It looks like Zatai is heading towards that top lane for now, and we do see Letme on the bottom half of the map, but with no dragon to take, not massive incentive to keep him stacked up.
Yeah, as a rule of thumb, I would prefer the Zoe into the mid lane. She does have a bit more mobility to really assist with your jungle and affect the side lanes. Well, if you have someone like Darius, it's going to take a very long time for him to get to anywhere, basically.
Oh, yeah.
So I do like the Zoe back here. It's just about how they support her and make sure that Icon cannot pull the same thing off multiple times in a row.
Already we've seen Icon tag team with Mountain, diving the bottom tier 1, killing Xiaohu again in that bottom lane. So it's up to RNG to try to track down where Mountain is going, how he's setting up these ganks for Icon as Letme plays it safe. This is going to get real confusing real quick.
Yeah.
With both of these top laners playing side lanes.
The only thing to really be sacrificed here is the communication with Ming, and that's a big question about this lineup without Uzi is how does Ming do without Uzi really micromanaging him? Because in all of the mic checks that we've been listening to and all the interviews, we have gotten the sense that a lot of the good micro play coming out from Ming is actually directed by Uzi. So without him on the lineup, there's a new test. Is Ming by himself going to challenge Mako?
Always the question for the true support of the LPL. Now he's trying to get some vision around the side. Mountain should be on top of a ward right now. Finally steps up. They should see him. Xuan P is there too. MLXG steps up, eats the body slam, and look at that damage. Down to half health. Sleepy Trouble Bubble just denies any follow-up engage as we're skirmishing over vision here. It's still 2 minutes for this dragon, but what this pushing is doing is allowing Letme to push up to the bottom tier 1. He still doesn't want to risk it though.
Yeah, I actually think Letme's might have taken 3 tower gold advantages just by himself at this point. And we're not sure if they hit the first. Oh, wait a minute.
And the Bone Skewer catches Xiaohu. Icon doesn't use the last breath to lock him down, though.
Yeah, actually, he could have done it, but yeah, Ali didn't go for it right there.
Letme tries to step up onto Xuan P. 80 carry versus 80 something.
I actually think that Icon didn't go in because he thought he would hit the Q3. It's just like a small mind-numbing situation there.
Here comes 5 and Mountain.
Really good instinct.
Pushing away. Yeah, that's the instincts of a split-pushing top laner. Able to recognize when people disappear off the map, but still 60 seconds for that dragon. OMG running back and forth between top and bottom to try and defend.
I 100% would have died right there because Trin P already used his flash and the culling, and he's running towards me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah. Well, you would also be on a Kled.
That's true.
Bit of a trickier situation, but now Xiaohu with another Ignite ready. Steps forward, doesn't use it this time, as he spots out 5 and forces him to sidestep. The wave gets pushed in, but Recall was used by Letme. He's now on the other side of the map, and it's Zatai who's hanging out bottom, as it looks like RNG could be prepping for that bottom tier 1 and then the dragon after.
Yep, again, just sending the Darius into the Yasuo lane. They did see the potential for the Yasuo to keep on split pushing, so they just wanted to tell Icon that this lane is no longer open. You're going to have to find another avenue.
The shop has closed. But he's still trying to head down there to pick up some gold. As Zatai is looking pretty big. He's got Triforce Ninja Tabby. Or Zycon did go for the Phantom Dancer. Hasn't quite finished off that Infinity Edge just yet as the wave is about to crash in. 5 is down there too, but decides to back away, and still Zatai doesn't want to risk pushing up to that turret. It is so tense right now as to when that turret is going to break.
Yep, I think most of it's actually going to come down to the mid lane. If Zoe can find a good poke opportunity, RNG could then take it into the jungle.
Oh, there's one, and it's onto the jungle. Xiaohu instead decides not to go for a Paddle Star. Is 5 the target? It is, but the Paddle Star misses. So they get some damage onto 5 and Mountain, not enough to force them away. As the wave is pushed in bottom, another Trouble Bubble. But still, OMG just playing around this vision. What breaks this for OMG? Do they need to bring Mundo? Do they need to find a pick, find RNG out of position?
I think they need Icon to come into the fight. He's the only one with enough damage to really finish off a target in time. So they just need to avoid a couple of Trouble Bubbles, have Icon push a wave, and then try to group and find something here. If they don't, then Xiao can just do this indefinitely.
Yeah, he's just firing bubble after bubble. That's even the exhaust used on Chuan Chuan P to zone him away. MLXG started the Dragon, but did not finish it. Stepped into the jungle. Teleport is ready for both of our top laners, but only one of them has a stun. Still, it's just constantly moving backwards and forwards, baiting this vision. Xiaohu just blows a raspberry at OMG.
I'm pretty sure that's not even a taunt. That's just like part of her kit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so precious.
It's great design.
Just like Singed, Fling, and Laugh. That said, though, it's 30 seconds until the Baron. Blade of the Ruined King is finished off on that Lucian. They're backing away now as Let Me still backs away. You absolutely would have died there.
Yep. I mean, I'm no Let Me. He is known as the Wrong.
Oh, Xiaohu is the target. Flash gets him away from the explosive Cask of Mountain. Meanwhile, MLXG finishes off that Cloud. And still, that bottom tier 1 is still standing. Let Me still forced to pull back away from OMG. The moment he sees that Lucian missing, he's got to back away. Xiaohu goes golden. Stopwatch to get away from that Bone Skewer.
And I have to give props to how well OMG is actually manipulating this situation. They couldn't find anything in the bot side. They gave up the Drake and then set up around Baron. And by doing this, they actually accomplished 2 pressure points without committing to either one. They forced Let Me to back off away from their top tower, and they forced a flash from Xiaohu in the mid lane as well. So it was great play on the situation, great read from both sides.
And look at the reaction from RNG to try and match that. They already swapped Let Me on the bottom side. They know he's got that teleport ready. And now Zatai is on that Baron side of the map. Lots of pings into the mid lane. Ming not looking for any targets. Finally, the bottom tier 1 is broken down. This should open up the map a little bit more, but look who's heading over to answer. It's Icon.
Yeah, I'm not sure Icon can actually fight off Let Me at this point, but Let Me is playing very cautiously. He doesn't have vision inside the enemy blue side.
Playing it real slow. OMG should be commended for taking this game as even as they are against Royal Never Give Up in their home stadium. Just trying to pull the map back apart as it's just about even in gold, just about even in dragons.
I love how this game might change the narrative. It's like it was actually Uzi that was holding back RNG from playing the 1-3-1 they always wanted to.
That wouldn't be terrifically surprising when you think about it.
Because people are always really surprised. RNG always play for the big 5v5 in international tournaments, but domestically, they've always been the 1-3-1 team. They've had the better split pushers. And we're seeing them try to make use of it now.
Certainly could be trying to get some practice with this strategy here. As still things seem to have stalled out. Ming just steps back from the Bone Skewer. Cass is ready for Mountain. They decide to engage on him. He flashes away. Pillar goes forward. Ming eats some damage from that Bone Skewer and Chuan Chuan P.
Look at the top lane. Darius is going to go in for the kill on Icon.
Yeah, Icon finishes off the turret. Zatai looking for one. There's no minion wave. That's the knockup. Double teleport coming in. Zatai backing away. Exhaust is used. He flashes over the wall at 4 stacks. Doesn't quite get the bleed ready. His OMG group is 5. Let Me use the teleport and canceled it. He's pushing onto the tier 2 now, but OMG, they could try to force a play around this Baron.
Yeah, they definitely want to look for opportunistic bait here. RNG not falling for any of it, just having Let Me stay put and push down the top tower.
getting some good damage onto it. Doesn't have his Guinsoo's yet, so can't quite shred through, but Icon is heading over to answer and then backs away as it's actually Xiong heading over to answer. His teleport will be later than Letme's, so there is going to be a window of opportunity for RNG in a few minutes, but right now, OMG are setting up the map a little bit faster than RNG.
Yep. OMG did have the better angle onto that fight, and I feel like Icon played it tremendously. He always stuck close to Zatai, never let him get the decimate. The outer ring of it, of course, putting bleed stacks and heals the Darius as well. So very good mechanical play coming out from Icon to really turn that situation.
Stall out the fight long enough for his team to join. Again, for those of you who want to know about TOP versus BLG, that's happening over on our sister streams, covered on douyu.com/t/LPL and panda.com/LPL. So see those links below. We'll give you updates on that series as it unfolds. But still, OMG are actually finding themselves with a gold lead against Royal Never Give Up, the best team in the world right now.
Yeah. I think RNG are just biding their time at the moment. OMG are a wombo combo type of combination.
Ooh.
So if you wait long enough, you have your Zhonya's, you have a couple defensive items on Darius, you actually take away the majority of targets that OMG can go on to. So I think slow play from RNG actually just makes sense here. Just want to play out the 4-1 as long as possible, wait till you get those crucial items that take you into stasis.
Of course, that being said, look at the items from OMG. That's Infinity Edge, now finished off from Icon.
100% crit.
Ooh, yeah. Lots of true damage. You've also got Zeke's Convergence ready for Mountain, Blade of the Rune King and Black Cleaver for Xuan P. They're starting to build up some big items as well. And while that Zoe has 2 items and is able to chunk some big hits out of OMG, she needs to actually find them. Asterix is finally finished off for Zatai, and Guinsoo's is finished off for Letme. So we're starting to reach that breaking point. 2 items on just about everyone, where a fight could dictate the momentum of the rest of the game.
Yep, Xiong's just not having a good time so far. The items are already completed, as you said, on the Kennen, so he can't really even, like, stare him in the eye anymore. He needs to stay out of his vision.
Xuan P steps up, looking for MLXG, who flashes the wall. Sleepy Trouble Bubble going to be denied. The Xiaohu picks himself up a flash just to keep MLXG topped up. Now the next dragon is spawning in 30 seconds. That's an Ocean. And still this constant dance back and forth, back and forth.
OMG do have a slight gold lead at this point, but they are the ones that do need to look for the fight. Zoe would be the best target for this.
That's the pillar. And the Bone Skewer. MLXG, he has no flash again. Forced to back away. Ming with the knockup. Here comes the rest of RNG. Redemption tries to reset this.
Massive blunder coming out from Mountain, not hitting Trundle when he didn't have a flash. That was a freebie on OMG that they missed there.
Xiaohu steps up, but not able to get any massive damage. That Mundo able to soak hits here. As RNG, they're trying to play around this. Letme gets around behind the turret along with Zatai, and suddenly this becomes a little bit scarier for OMG. They reset position.
I like how they were feigning towards the top side. Do want that massive minion wave there to crash into the tower, and that's going to open up Drake for them.
Xiaohu actually gets hit here, and the knockup on the Ming. He uses Last Breath as Xiaohu takes that Blast Cone to safety. And somehow, despite all of that, nobody dies.
Yeah, it's a really good positioning from OMG. They've done this twice this...
Over the wall,
double
Ming.
knockup.
He gets the knockup onto 2. Mountain is exhausted. Doesn't have flash. He nearly does, but the auto attack, he goes golden. Now he's got the flash. Dragon picked up in the meanwhile, flashes away, but gets executed. Hammered down from Zatai.
Yeah, a bit overzealous from OMG right there. They were already on the Drake, so it was a pure 3-man against the potential 5 from RNG. No real need for them to try and greed for another objective, but they do so and pay the price for it.
Now the wave is going to start pushing in. Icon, he's got some pretty good wave clear. If he can get close enough to the minions, even Xiong's trying to chip in from the side. 5 has the Bone Skewer ready, and Xiaohu, with a fresh flash, retreats to the safety of his own team.
Yep, not trying to push things too far.
And RNG still playing it so slow. They've managed to hold on to their mid-tier 1, but if OMG make a few more plays like that, it's not going to last for very long.
Yeah. You could see what the plays OMG were looking for, where they basically want to split RNG up. Good manipulation of the top lane wave to do that. And then when the members are split, it's easier for Bone Skewer and Yasuo to land.
That's that Bone Skewer you were talking about. Good damage onto Xuan P.
Nice.
It's soaked up by 5. Xiaohu steps up, and again, the Bone Skewer misses. Without Icon or Mountain there to follow up, and Xuan P disabled, there's no damage from OMG.
What OMG are counting on at this point is the growth of Icon. Ooh.
Wow. Did he actually catch him as he was dashing over the wall? Bone Skewer again on the MLXG. Remember, he still has no flash. Too far forward, he goes down. Gold pass to Xuan P. Axe finds Xiaohu, calling onto Ming. Icon finally joins up. This could be the turret.
Yep. So Mountain not repeating the same mistakes right there. Let me, of course, not in the fight at all. It was a 4v4 into the mid lane. And sometimes MLXG just becomes the D and oversteps.
MLXG's is, well, with the jungler dead, OMG turn now onto the Baron. 3 kills to 5. Sleepy Trouble Bubble somehow tags onto 5. Xiaohu behind the pit starts firing across with these paddle stars. Ming is there with him. Zatai is ready with his ultimate. He just needs the opportunity. Flashes back, but that was not it.
Ooh, and the Baron resets immediately. So I'm not sure this was worth it for OMG unless they actually get Xiaohu here.
Which they very well might. Flash over the wall. Bone Skewer is ready. He goes forward, picks up the flash, but still dies to the headbutt of Xiang. Meanwhile, the mid-tier 1 has been broken down.
All right, so that death was really important because that means they get to hold on to Baron Vision. They still have the numbers advantage, and RNG need to respect that. You can see they're immediately moving back and clearing out all that money that RNG invested into the Baron pit.
There's that Zeal also picked up on Let Me. And now the Baron is being started. He's got teleport. He pushes the wave forward. Zatai and MLXG are there. He's got his smite this time, but still no flash. That's the teleport. Ming is ready. The pillar separates. The cask forces Zatai back. Ming still looking for the opening. He's got the headbutt pulverized. He goes in. 4 members. Zatai steps forward. He gets a huge decimate and the slicing maelstrom. OMG's chances looked so good up until that fight. As that's another kill, and OMG are out over the wall. Mountain, he's got the blast cone. He has smite, but he has no chance. Baron picked up, and RNG get out with their lives. Let Me. Is he going to land 1 or 2 more? Look for the chase. The pillar. Oh, no. Mountain will go down. MLXG gets the auto with his own pillar.
And that's why I did not say OMG should take Baron. I said they should clear out the vision. I think the Baron was way over-aggressive.
Where? What? Whoa.
They want to take down the bot, but that's...
They need... guys.
Hi?
Where are you going there? That's the pillar. He's still got flash. Let Me steps up. Okay, calm down. You're in front of the home crowd. You're feeling it. But you're not feeling it that much. It's only 7 kills to 6.
They really wanted that bot inhib, and the idea was if they got the Baron buff onto the minions, then maybe they would have the push to take down the inhibitor wholesale. It's still a bit ambitious, I would say.
Oh, yeah. And now they're taking blue buff. They decide not even to stay for the inhibitor turret. We gotta ask some questions on Let Me and MLXG. But here's that fight at the Baron again.
So it's a really bad position for OMG right here. They already with the cask, so there was no real chance that Last Breath was going to hit on multiple members. And a 4-man knockup from Ming into the fight, getting the stun onto the backline on Lucian. Ming just deleted so much damage coming out from OMG. There was no chance they could fight that. And just watch the last play from Ming as well. Gets the WQ over the wall and then comes back into the Baron pit with the explosive plant.
So you tell me, Clement, without the mastermind of Uzi micromanaging Ming's exact plays, is he still the true support?
Ming is still a god. Confirmed right here.
Confirmed. Confirmed on Saint Stream. And now the siege begins. 1:45 on the clock for the Baron buff of RNG. They've got Zatai split pushing in the side lane. Let Me without a teleport grouped with his team as they start moving waves back and forward to start getting some damage onto OMG's inhibitor turrets, this time with minions.
Minions?
Well, previously they just kind of went for the turret blindly. As Xuan P's actually taking a few hits here. Sleepy Trouble Bubble doesn't find anyone. Xuan P stays wide awake for this. As 5 launches out with the Bone Skewer, but doesn't find a target. Zatai defending the cannon minion onto the bottom inhib. Xuan P, ooh, he's been tagged. Dashes back. But there's no follow-up. Even the Trouble Bubble does that much damage, Clement.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous how Zoe can get fed in the late game. It's very interesting how RNG is setting up this 4-1 split push. They're actually leaving the Kennen because of the slicing Maelstrom with the 4-man, even though he's been playing the split pusher for the majority of the game. They just want to make sure they have that counter engage ready.
Yeah, moving backwards and forwards. Mountain takes another hit. He's going to have to back away from this as Ming goes in. Another three-man knockup. You can't keep doing this, Ming. As the fight follows up, the turret finishes off. There's the slicing Maelstrom, and just like that, it's a double kill. It's a triple kill. Zatai, he's chasing it down, but Mountain won't give it over. Apprehend pulls him in. The quadra kill for Zatai on the Fountain, but still, Mountain, now he's feeling it. Now he's thinking about it. He's going to give it over. He's trying the red buff. And that is the delayed pentakill to Royal Never Give Up to Zatai, the 80 carry of Royal Never Give Up. They turn onto the Nexus and they take down Game 1.
Strong play coming out from Zatai there. We thought he was going to go into the bot lane, but for RNG, the mentality has changed. It's all about the counter matchup, able to follow up onto Icon into the mid lane. And Ming with another massive performance. It really reminds us of those Malphite plays that Letme was pulling off, and Ming does have some knockups of his own. The final play right there, 5 actually gave him the path into the carries. The Bone Skewer grabbed him back 550 distance, instantly followed up by the WQ combo. No Uzi, no problem for the true support.
Yeah, apparently. As RNG get to make their way backstage fresh off of that Game 1 win, we now have to see if OMG can recover in this, because they were running the pace against Royal Never Give Up. I think that was largely unexpected for a team at their current rank in the standings to be challenging the best team in the world. Look at that, close to even for a significant majority. Yeah. And then RNG decided to end the game.
OMG had a lot of great individual plays. Their control of Baron was good throughout the most of the mid game, and Icon never fell to the counter pick in the Darius. Those were the 2 pluses for OMG. But I have to say, the shot calling once again bites them in the behind. They go for a Baron play that was way too risky instead of just clearing out the vision and letting it be. So if I had to nitpick, I felt like OMG played an 80% game, but the other 20% really just threw it entirely.
And that's the 20% that needs to be there for them. You can see Xuan P is stepping up to provide a damage source for OMG. Icon at 7,000 on this Yasuo, not able to find the targets that he's really looking for. But still, we're seeing some big growth out of OMG to try and challenge this ultimate roster from RNG. Like you said, no Uzi, no problem.
Yeah. OMG just shifting the attentions on the map very well. They had a losing side lane in the Kennen versus the Mundo, but they were able to play around that very well for the majority of the game and keep RNG very honest in terms of their vision control and stuff like that. So even though OMG still fell in the end in kind of the same pattern that we've seen before, this is a pretty big improvement overall.
Absolutely. I mean, able to find those kills, able to try and chase that game out, reacting appropriately. When they saw Zatai heading top lane for Icon, they grouped up as 5 and were able to push RNG away. That's no small feat.
Yeah, definitely. So exciting matchup. Like, I think the old grudge match between these Season 3 Titans haven't really lost their edge yet.
Yeah, very well could be heating up. That said, it's time for our analyst to break down that Game 1 win from RNG.
Thanks, guys. And before we break down that Game 1 win for RNG, just want to welcome all the viewers coming in from the LCK Twitch chat. We see you guys spamming about the LPL there. Thank you very much. Welcome to the best league in the world, by the way. We appreciate you being here. Please continue to spam. Now let's break down that last match, Rusty. What the heck happened?
I mean, we actually saw a resurgence from OMG. Maybe something that we didn't expect to see from them. RNG, first and foremost, missing Uzi. You would expect it to be a downgrade. You expect the overall strength of the team to then go down just a bit more, right? So they pulled out something different. And I did like through the draft that they put the Darius where the Yasuo went. And for what it's worth, I thought that RNG still drafted fairly smart. But what OMG did, which was the biggest surprise, is that they played up. A Yasuo into a Darius in lane played up. Actually went even in CS, managed to match his opponent. Shouldn't happen. Did happen. Played very well. 5 played very well in the support role as well. And top lane, they got a kill on the 2v2, Mountain and Xiang. Able to get that 2v2. So honestly, I was very impressed with OMG's individual performers, and they did a lot of work for keeping them in the game. And the reason that's important to me, Fish, is if you can keep up with RNG individually, then you're doing something very right. And if you're losing in team play, I feel like that's dirt off your shoulder. Like, that's understandable. Fix it later, because individually they kept up with RNG.
Because all the way until 30 minutes into that match, OMG had a slight goal lead for themselves. Only after a 30-minute fight where we saw RNG actually pull ahead and start to snowball out of control And it's the first time we've seen them use both Let Me
Yeah.
as well as Zatai in the same match. Now, we know that Fnatic were one of the first teams in a top-tier region to actually implement this strategy. Now RNG are using it, but they're not sending Let Me or Zatai into the bottom lane just yet. It's still going to be Xiaohu, and that's the common pairing that we see whenever it's Uzi that's being gold funneled.
For those who don't know Zatai, he's been playing for a very long time, 2013 roughly, but he was a mid laner, became a top laner, moved to mid lane, moved back to top lane, and now he's in the AD carry position, but he's playing mid lane anyway. So this is his 5th competitive role swap and his 3rd competitive position. He can play it all. I'm not surprised that he was chosen over someone like Abel, who is still brand new to the team, whereas Zatai can bring that air of experience and confidence and perhaps shot calling for even someone like Ming, who was missing that person.
And helps them out as well, especially if they do transition back to Uzi later on the split. If gold funneling still exists, you'd expect Uzi to try and implement that strategy still, and Xiaohu would continue to play in the bottom lane, so not weakening that duo between Xiaohu as well as Ming. Fortunately, Uzi has a reoccurring shoulder injury, and he's currently resting, trying to recover from that. So we hope him the best of recovery, and we hope to see him back in the LPL soon. But this roster of RNG is still looking good. We know that OMG are able to stand up to them, but again, after the laning phase, when it came to that big fight around Baron, that's where RNG really took the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It all came down to that one crucial moment where Ming is able to knock everybody up. You even hear the excitement from Dom, and it's not just the knock-up from Ming that you'll see there. It was Let Me in the backlines. It's the AoE combo of RNG, with OMG giving them access to that combo. That's the important part. OMG had control of the map. They were actually winning the game through that small amounts of map control that they had, the incremental advantages they were accruing, and then suddenly they commit to the Baron. They commit to a 5v5 that was forcibly happening in the pit, and that's where RNG are able to run over them with the team composition that they have. And to me, that's a mistake from OMG, but also really good from RNG with no hesitation to capitalize.
Yeah, they were able to capitalize, and it just went out of control from there. After picking up the Baron, RNG were able to storm the base. And we even saw the first pentakill of this split of the LPL, with Zatai picking it up as the mid lane slash bottom lane AD carry slash Darius player here.
And look, good guy 5, first and foremost, comes in and hooks Ming to give him an engage onto 3 people, and it sets up the very quick, very early 3 kills here for Zatai. He'll get the 4th onto 5 because it's a very squishy champion, first and foremost. And then even better guy, Mountain, just comes out of the pit, is playing around with his food, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, no, have it. Have it. And then he gets headbutted away. He's like, you know what? I've changed my mind. But the bleed was already on, so they get the penta. Very well done from Zatai, but nice guys of OMG knew the game was over.
Thank you, good guy 5, and thank you, great bloke. Great bloke Mountain for assisting Zatai with the first pentakill of the split in the LPL. Picked it up on Darius, playing in a role-swapped position. Started in the bottom lane, played in the mid lane up against the Yasuo.
And of course, the man of the match going to him, I would say, is a very valid thing. He didn't win his lane while he was against the Yasuo, but the composition was very difficult to navigate for most of RNG through the early game pressure they had from level 6 onwards. RNG was struggling just that little bit to deal with X-Champion plus Yasuo Ultimate. But once they got past that, once they got the Baron, game was theirs.
Yeah, well, we even saw Ming playing it fantastically from the support position from RNG. A lot of people are saying that now he might be the best supports in the LPL, trying to overtake that crown from Mako. And that's just the first match of this best of 3 series. We jumped away from the last match, which went all the way to game number 3. It was TOP taking on BLG. So before we go into game 2, we can take a look again at the game-winning fights from that match alone, because that was a slugfest. I know that you and I got to watch bits and pieces of the final match here.
We haven't seen this, so we have no idea what's going to happen, but you can tell that there's 10 bruises, Fish, so stuff's just going to happen. It's probably going to happen for a while.
It starts with BLG picking up Baron buff. They force a fight up against TOP here. The game was dead even until this point, and BLG were able to not only secure Baron buff, but the fight that followed through. Now, it was a fight. You mentioned it yourself, there were 10 bruises in this. So both the fights we are going to watch, Rusty, go for an extended period of time. This one's not even done yet.
Yeah, the ants go marching 2x2. This last fight, this is one we did get to see. The reason that this one's funny is, I mean, Jin Zhao survives forever. And Amazing J is also a Mundo. There is a Vladimir on the other side for healing as well. Both teams are just going to run at each other and try and deal more damage. So whoever's winning in the game state should be able to win the fights, and BLG, of course, they'll come out on top.
BLG and TOP doing the best cosplay of the NALCS right now with this fiesta of a fight. And this fight, for reference, When Dom and Clement were talking about the post-game of the RNG match, this fight started. When he threw it to us on the analyst desk, the Nexus exploded. That's how long this fight went for.
That was a very extended fight. That was a lot of tanks, man, and that was an Aatrox that actually lost as well on the hotfix patch.
It was an Aatrox that's not only hotfix, but also first picked from TOP in that match. BLG were able to pick up the victory in game number 3, so congratulations to them. They had a very shaky start of the split. Good to see that coming as a cross-conference, they start strong with a victory here. We're going to go into a very quick break. We'll be back with game number 2 of the second set in just a bit.
让我们把故事传唱下去，继续书写 RNG 的传说。